I shared the link to all of my friends in the Ku Klux Klan and the Young Aryan Nation.
You know, this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
You sit there with a shaved head, and I'm sitting here with the whitest hair in the world, and you're saying that shit, and somebody's going to just wander into the channel and not know that for the past 2.5 years, every time we go online, you say the most ridiculous things ever just to get people going. They're going to be like, fucking white supremacists! And then I'm going to get flagged. Thank you.
Yeah, like successfully at the start of every BDU, it's something racist or white supremacist.
You know, I'm really disappointed to hear you publicly say stuff like that, Rhino. You should be proud about your race. It's not about racism or hatred. It's about white pride.
Oh my god. Okay, first and foremost, what's everybody drinking? Let's start with Gisef.
Chocolate Manifesto.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey, Radar.
And he's got the Reformed Alcoholic with him.
What's Radar drinking?
You don't want to know.
It's dry and it's blue.
Oh.
Too dry. All right, I got Garrison's Very Old Town Black IPA.
Ooh.
What do you think of that, Nick?
Not bad, actually. I gave it a 3.75. Not dark enough, but it's tasty.
Yeah, nice, nice. Lee, what are you drinking?
I am drinking the recent iteration of Boxing Rock Sessionista.
Nice.
4% session ale.
Now, I am going to start with a side launch wheat. I actually went into I went to 2 LCBOs today to get my Radlers, because you know how I like to drink a bunch of Radlers because I have to get up at 7 a.m. with my kids every day. So I walk into 2 LCBOs. There's no Radlers anywhere. Well, actually, that's a lie. One of them had the Schofferhofer Radler, which I would refuse to drink. And I'm like, okay, and I'm walking around, and they might be on end caps somewhere in the store, but what happened was the space that the Radlers used to be in and all the light beer is gone because every LCBO around me has, like, quadrupled their cider selection.
Ew.
Yeah, there was, like, 12 ciders I haven't had sitting there on the shelves. I'm like, ooh, do I do this or not? So, yeah, we'll start with this. And like I was just mentioning to the guys offline, there will be a Albino Rhino Beer Festival announcement tomorrow about a brewery that I have delisted and 2 breweries that will be taking his place, which brings us up to 32 breweries at the festival.
So, speaking of have you, did you guys get you must have gotten this up there, but the Grapefruit Radler from Waterloo?
Yeah, the Grapefruit Radler is the one that they usually have out. The lemon one is the one that's hard to find.
Oh, okay, this was the lemon one that I've had before. Anyway, they just showed up.
They changed it. It's not the Radler mass anymore. It's a different recipe now. It's actually full on just Radler. It's lemon juice instead of the lemonade type of thing.
Oh, so it's yeah.
The grapefruit one isn't actually bad. I liked it quite a bit, to be honest with you.
Oh, on the topic of Radlers, has anybody noticed that there's been a lot of raspberry beers this year yet so far?
No, I haven't seen any yet.
Not me here.
Who says they sampled it at the St. John Beer Fest last weekend? Who said's new Radler this year is raspberry?
Intriguing. No, I haven't had one yet.
But there was that would seem to be the in thing that people were experimenting with raspberry beers at the festival. So
I'd be all up for a raspberry Radler. Radlers are so open to interpretation anyway. They should be just going through the flavors. Much better than all that fucking Bud Light lime bullshit and all that garbage.
Yeah, well, the Moosehead Radler was more like raspberry-ta, so.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's not
Like that sweet, but it was pretty sweet. It was like raspberry cotton candy.
Now, as you all know, I'm going to get close to the screen when I read, so I'm going to turn my camera off so you don't see this.
We don't mind.
I'd be bringing out my inner Steve.
Like we haven't seen before.
Yeah,
Hey,
making
guys.
us all snowblind.
Hey guys, can you see anything? You see? Okay, here we go. So, starting with Canadian beer news. This one is for Guy, basically, because he's actually bought some of the beers from this this brewery before. But Labatt Breweries acquires microbrasserie Archibald. So, a Quebec microbrewery that was bought out by AB InBev. They make... they're well known for La Valkyrie, La Kiboire, La Chippy, Jouflou. I don't even know why I'm fucking murdering French, but whatever. But yeah, the Valkyrie. I believe the Valkyrie is the one that Guy sent me way back when, a few years back.
I can see why they would appeal to those peoples.
Yeah, they what? They have a restaurant. They have a bar. They are well known in Quebec. So yeah, it makes sense to have bought them.
So how good was their beer? Are they like on the level of Mill Street or some bullshit like that?
I would say they're slightly above Mill Street.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would say so.
They still have flavor, but they're very mass appealed like Mill Street. Now, this one is good for when I go to visit my family, and that's actually pretty close to Guy as well. 4 Degree Brewing has officially launched in Smiths Falls. I'm going to see if I can get Jeff, when he comes down, to pick up some beers from the Pakenham Brewery, the Calabogie Brewing Company, and this one, because he's so close to all of these. But 4 Degrees Brewing has been co-founded by Nick Ritchie and Andrew Howard, with Joe Adams and Chris Haynes on board as co-owners, whoever the fuck any of them are. 4 Degrees has a pair of flagship brands, True North of 7, an easy-drinking Helles lager with subtle hoppy flavors and a crisp finish, and True South of 7, bolder in flavor and color with amber hues and a smooth caramel flavor. They are currently being produced at Taps Brewing in Niagara. What the fuck?
What?
Okay, so this is Smiths Falls, so this is Ottawa area, okay? Right near Ottawa. My aunt and everything's there. This stuff is being produced at Taps Brewing here in Niagara Falls.
Ew.
So at the restaurant that you've drank at. So actually, I don't want any of these because if they're being produced at Taps Brewing, there is probably about a 75% chance that they are infected.
You drink that shit, you probably get a full fucking chicken wing in your actual beer. That's.
I thought they had mushrooms.
At least some Frenchman sneezed into it.
Oh, god damn. That's depressing fucking news. I wouldn't advertise that shit.
No,
I would
like
tell anyone where we're brewing.
I would not tell anybody that you are contract brewing at Taps. And how small are your batches if you're contract brewing at Taps, which is a little brew pub? Like, it's a brew pub. Like, how do they even? This just tells me something about the bubble. We've talked about the bubble before. How does Taps have extra space in that little spot they have?
You know what? I bet you Taps makes so much fucking beer that they probably have these big batches that they just sit on for months anyway that they don't sell right away.
That's quite possible as well. I mean, the taste that comes off of it. But see, when I'm talking about infection, for anyone that has never been to Taps or anything, what Taps does is it's a brew pub that does the let's let you see us brewing idea, which is a great idea. But there's no glass separating anything, so the entire bar and kitchen and everything else and everything that's up in the air from the bar and the kitchen is open to the brewing area. The brew house is exactly 7 feet away from the side of the bar.
Yeah, you got some clumsy waiter who didn't wash his hands properly, dumping chicken grease into the fucking fermenting tank, and then you have like some snot-nosed kid wandering in behind the bar, and no one notices him until he sticks his hand into the fucking thing.
And you actually can sit, like you can have a table with all your food that your back is pretty much touching the fermenters, and there's nothing separating you. You could reach back and grab the fermenter.
Yeah, that's like
that's why there is an infection problem there. Can they make good beer? The few times I've had beer that isn't infected, yeah, it's been pretty good. But I've had at least 75% of my beers from Taps infected.
Everyone farting like during a year, how much like fecal matter gets in there?
But like you said, they must be just sitting on things. Like, it must not be selling. But at the same time, Niagara region is blowing up with breweries. So that might be one of the reasons why Taps has open fermenter space, because you just wouldn't expect a brewery with like 3 fermenters that is a brew pub and a take home to actually have free space to lend to somebody else to contract brew there. Especially when they're brewing 2 different beers.
Most of them know better, probably.
I'm actually amazed that somebody's contract brewing there. And then Kingston gets its 3rd brewery in Skeleton Park Brewery, which launched this week.
I like the name.
Skeleton Park's first brand is Amber 6.6, which is briefly described as follows: a well-balanced European-style amber, full-bodied with a complex malt profile, finished with a crisp hop bitterness and unfolding esters on the nose. Okay, and they are contract brewing out of Broadhead right now in Ottawa.
Yeah, that doesn't sound exciting at all.
No, not at all. They're probably actually just using fucking Broadhead's amber.
Well, what is a European style amber anyway? That makes no sense.
I would think that would be more like a Irish amber, like an Irish red, some more just maltiness than the English hoppiness.
So exciting.
But they say esters. I don't. When I think of an amber ale, I don't think of estery things waffling up.
I don't really either, but.
Received a call.
It sounds like you're basically just promising, we're going to underbrew this.
Occupied by an individual.
Oh, good day, Ewit. What's going on, Ewert?
Not much.
Are you drinking anything other than aqua tonight, Ewert?
I'm not drinking anything. I just got in doing some spring cleaning, and I totally forgot it was Wednesday. I thought it was Monday, so I'm like, wait, no, it's not on Mondays anymore. It's on Wednesday. I don't know, dude.
Fucking old man. And for any of you that didn't notice, today Ewert was doing some great attempts at trolling with the king of the trolls.
No, I wasn't doing it. It was a feeble attempt. It's just like it wasn't even a troll. It's like, anybody know a good eavesdrop guy? I said, just do it yourself, dude. I don't know. What a random thing. Anybody know a good eavesdrop guy in Brantford? Like, I don't know.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah. So I said, just do it and Google it. How to install your own eavesdrops. And he thought that was a troll. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to be helpful.
Well, I think Aaron knows you well enough now that every time you say something, there's always some sort of double talk behind it, even when there isn't. He just suspects now, so it's like.
So you're saying he's paranoid? It is 420, so.
Everyone fucking hanging around you is paranoid. You never know when you're fucking talking straight or talking bullshit.
I'm talking straight rock. I don't know, was that ever a line in the movie? I just made it up.
You don't talk to me like that, Adrian. You're supposed to be supporting me,
Yeah, exactly. Anywho, enough about me. I'm not drinking anything. I'd like to be, though, but I'm not. I could just grab something. The fridge is too far away. Speaking of which, I got a free beer fridge if anybody wants one. They got to pick it up, though.
And by beer fridge, are we just talking a normal fridge?
Yep. Covered in beer stickers, so it makes it a beer fridge.
Jesus,
I might need another fridge.
You gotta pick it up. I do not deliver.
Well, it's a good thing I can carry it on my own.
If I take
Send the drones.
So I was actually at work. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday I was at the same bar at work, and our environmental services was coming in every day to clean the ceiling, so we had to clear the back bar every day. And then we come in on Tuesday, they're like, yeah, Chad, they're doing it again, move everything. So I bear hug this giant fucking beer fridge and put it in the back room, and the other beer fridge is sitting there, and I got to put it away later on too, and I'm too lazy to go downstairs and get the cart, so I'll just bear hug it. And then an EVS worker comes by, and they're like, yeah, we're not doing that tonight. The fuck do you mean you're not doing this tonight? So to my boss. I'm like, they just told me they're not doing this. Okay, let me make some calls. He calls, he goes, yeah, they're not doing it. It's like, why don't you put the fridge back? I go, no, it's not happening.
Yeah,
what do you mean it's not happening? Day shift can put the fucking fridge back. Why? I've had to move this fridge twice a day since Sunday. I'm not fucking touching the fridge again because you guys don't know how to communicate. Fuck you. I walked away.
Sounds like my work.
Yep. So, first and foremost in our news, there was a man arrested for drinking a beer atop a crane in downtown Edmonton.
What?
He just wanted a selfie, apparently, but he climbed a giant crane. It looks like it's about 15 stories high by where it is on the building behind it. And he climbed the ladder on the crane, sat down at the top, and started drinking a beer. So at least he knew where to go to make sure the cops couldn't stop him until he was done his beer.
That guy deserves to fall off and hurt himself and die.
Yeah, he ended up getting arrested when they got him down. They threw him in a paddy wagon and took him away. But there's a lot of crime in beer this week in beer news.
Yeah.
And you know what's criminal? That fucking gluten-free beer you sent me. That's a fucking crime.
I don't know what you're talking about. That gluten-free beer was amazing. It was the cheapest gluten-free beer that you can buy too.
As cheap
Yeah,
gluten-free
no
beer
kidding.
go. It was great.
In Barrie, and this one I bring up because I don't remember if you guys remember all the propaganda that the beer store was putting out when the grocery stores were trying to get sales and convenience stores and all that. Oh my God, you cannot let them sell beer. It'll be sold to underage people and it'll be stolen all the time. They can't control this stuff. In the last 3 months, I think I've seen 15 stories about people stealing beer from the beer store, but this one's great. So in Barrie, this guy goes into the cooler. Lady's cashing somebody out. While he's in the cooler, he takes a 2-4, shoves it inside his coat, and walks out of the store. Well, they say he's a slim build, and then you see this picture of him walking out of the store, and he looks like he's 400 pounds because he has the fucking case in his coat. So they are looking for this man who has stolen a case of beer. If I was the Barrie police, I would have just said, "Bravo to you! You get a case of beer."
Man,
it boggles my mind that nobody caught him doing that. I'm gonna. It's like the video that's online where the woman puts the case of beer in her skirt and walks out with it.
yeah.
It's Barrie, kissing capital of the world.
Now, the LCBO has released an image of a suspect wanted in an LCBO fraud investigation. This is from a Toronto area LCBO. He is being charged with buying vodka bottles, going home, emptying the vodka bottles into another bottle, obviously, filling them up with water, and then returning them to the LCBO.
Awesome.
One of the things it says here is the LCBO has changed its return policy because of this fraud. All liquor products sold in plastic bottles and later returned will no longer be put back on the shelves. So my question is, like, he had to break the seal.
Yep. They have tamper evidence, so that's the thing. It's dumb.
Yeah,
Why
so
would
It's a dumb rule.
Why would they put products back on the shelves that have broken seals?
Exactly. That's what I don't understand. Like, how is this changed policy helping them at all? They shouldn't be back on the shelf anyway, unless he had a whole bunch of fucking tamper-proof seals that he resealed it with. But you can't just get those unless it's like store, where you can find a bunch of fucking red tamper-proof seals to put back on.
When people return a product to a fucking liquor store, it's usually because it's bad.
Yeah,
Why would
the LCBO will take things back if you don't like them, and there's something left in the bottle as well. So what? You go back with a half a bottle that you've been swinging with your mouth, and they put it back on the shelf?
Apparently.
Yeah, like I don't understand this. And why only plastic bottles? He couldn't do this with glass bottles?
That's fucked.
Yeah, 'cause some glass bottles use a plastic tamper evidence cap. And there's yeah, you could easily just swap it. I mean, yeah, it can be cheated if he has access to caps. I don't know anybody who has access to raw, untouched caps.
I'm kind of on this guy's side because
a lot of companies have like logos and stuff on the caps. So I mean, I could see possibly the super bottom shelf stuff like Prince Igor and all that are just blank caps. Maybe you could find some of those somewhere. But anything that's worthwhile, like Grey Goose and all that has. Go ahead.
Most plastic caps don't have any logos on.
But you see, that's not even in the discussion. Their return policy is fucking barbarically insane. Like, oh, we'll just put it back on the shelf with a broken seal. Never mind, that's fine. What the fuck? They should be sued for that shit. That's fucking retarded.
I'm wondering if he had some weird, strange way of doing it, like had something that would let him shrink the top of the bottle, and then he could read it. I don't know. Like, there has to be something he did that let him get those off and back on. Because it's just mind-boggling to me though. Like, how did they get the liquid out and get new liquid in without breaking the seal,
Think of what you could do with like if you
or putting a hole somewhere in the bottle that was leaking afterwards?
think of what he could do if his whole goal in life was to drink all the Maker's Mark that existed. He could take all those Maker's Mark bottle home. He could fill them with fucking Coca-Cola and then re-wax the fucking caps.
Are you guys talking about the vodka guy who?
Yeah.
Well, what he did is LCBO has an open bottle policy. If you take a shot of something and you don't like it, you can return it. So what the guy did is he filled it up with, poured out all the vodka and filled it up, and said, "Oh, I took a shot, I didn't like it," and the LCBO employees didn't bother to smell or taste it. And, yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's like a major crime, even though he was just trying to get some free vodka. Now it's like a major crime or something.
And welcome to the party, Ethan. Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, isn't it your bedtime? What are you still doing up?
No, but yeah, we did cover that, Greg. The issue here is really the fucking return policy for the fucking LCBO, where Rhino's saying basically they'll put those fucking broken seal bottles back on the fucking shelf to sell, apparently.
Okay, they're not supposed to do that, but obviously they did.
Yeah. And my friend Jim Sears in the comment section, he says, "Is Nick asleep this early in the show?"
No, he's just
Here.
very
Sorry, guys, I got kicked off. What happened there?
We were just going over the same thing that we were talking about 5 minutes ago because Greg came in late to the conversation.
Yep.
And basically repeated everything.
I want the class to repeat everything for me.
Also, winter is coming. Says,
Okay, sorry,
"Cheers,
I just lowered
guys."
my bandwidth and everything. I don't know. I think.
Okay.
There goes his internet.
Well, my internet
Yeah.
keeps cutting. I didn't hear anything there.
Okay, winter is coming. Says, "Cheers, guys. I saw that the Albino Rhino Fest received some free advertising on Mom and Hops."
Nice that they do. I mean, those douches at Canadian Beer News don't like the Rhino, so they don't advertise any of his shit.
Yeah.
They're mad because their parents were murdered by an albino rhino.